Imagine this. You're 72, retired, and scrolling Facebook. Suddenly, Elon Musk appears on your screen, calm, confident, claiming he's launched a platform that helps seniors make thousands every week. Would you believe it? Margaret did, and it nearly cost her everything. Margaret Ellis was the kind of woman who still mailed handwritten birthday cards. At 72, she had retired from her job as a school librarian in Tucson, Arizona, a quiet, sunny town where she'd lived nearly her whole life. Her days were peaceful and predictable. She woke up early, fed her cat Rosie, and read mystery novels in her garden. In the evenings, she'd settle into her recliner with a cup of chamomile tea and scroll through Facebook or YouTube on her old iPad. She wasn't what you'd call tech-savvy. In fact, Margaret didn't even have online banking. Her son had to set up her email. She still wrote her grocery list on paper. Cryptocurrency, PayPal, VPNs, those were foreign concepts. But like many seniors, she gradually learned enough to navigate the digital world for things that mattered most to her. Keeping up with her grandkids' photos, watching home gardening tips, and enjoying those addictive 10-minute craft videos. That night started like any other. The house was quiet. Outside, the Arizona desert was bathed in soft twilight. Margaret scrolled past cooking videos, prayer quotes, and pet adoption stories until she saw something different, something big. It was a video of Elon Musk. At first, she didn't think much of it, but then the caption below the video caught her attention. Breaking. Elon Musk reveals AI platform that pays retirees up to $5,000 per month in passive income. Margaret paused. She recognized the face. Elon had been on TV for years. SpaceX, Tesla, Twitter. Everyone knew him. He was one of the richest, smartest men in the world. If he was behind something for seniors, maybe it was worth a look. Curious, she tapped the video. Elon's voice came through clearly. He was sitting in a podcast studio, confidently explaining a new AI-powered investment fund designed specifically to help senior citizens like her. The host was nodding, excited. Charts appeared on the screen. Elon smiled warmly and said, "This is how we change the future, by giving back to those who built the past." Margaret felt a small thrill. It didn't sound like a scam. It sounded like a gift. The video continued, showing clips of happy elderly couples on beaches, testimonials from older Americans claiming they were now financially free thanks to Elon's AI project. One woman, who looked to be around Margaret's age, said, "I started with just $250, and now I make over $600 a day while I sleep." Beneath the video, a flashing link read, "Join Elon's retirement AI fund. Start today with just $250. The site looked legitimate. Tesla and SpaceX logos were everywhere. Real-looking news tickers scrolled across the screen. CNN, Elon's AI disrupts traditional investment markets. Forbes, seniors rejoice as Musk's new platform delivers big returns. It felt official. It felt safe. It felt important. Margaret stared at the screen, her fingers hovering. Could this be the answer? Her pension just barely covered groceries and utilities. Every month, she had to make tough choices. She often skipped outings with friends just to save on gas. And with rising food prices, even simple pleasures like a new book or a good bottle of lotion had become luxuries. She wasn't greedy. She didn't want to become rich. She just wanted a little breathing room. Maybe this was her chance. Elon Musk has done so much of the world, she thought. Why not for people like me? Margaret took a deep breath and clicked the link. What she didn't know, what no one warned her about, was that behind the glowing promises and sleek design, something dangerous waited. A well-planned scam. A trap targeting the very people who trusted too easily and questioned too little. But for now, Margaret wasn't scared. She was hopeful, excited even. She had no idea this click was the beginning of a nightmare. The website that loaded was sleek, shockingly professional. It had a clean white interface, modern fonts, and a video banner playing testimonials from people who looked just like Margaret. Seniors smiling beside laptops, reading bank statements, even standing in front of vacation homes. Each testimonial seemed more convincing than the last. "I invested just $250, and now I make $600 a day. Thank you, Elon. This AI fund changed my life. I finally bought that car I always wanted. Passive income while I sleep. This is the future for seniors. Below each video, there were names, cities, and profile pictures. It felt real. It looked real. Then came the numbers. Graphs showed user earnings skyrocketing. A ticker updated in real time, displaying how much people were earning at that moment. Harold M. from Ohio just made $94 in 10 minutes. Joyce L. from California withdrew $2,300 this week. As Margaret scrolled, a chat window popped up in the corner of the screen. The name on it was Jason, AI investment expert. It even had a photo, middle-aged man, clean cut, wearing a headset and a Tesla Polo. The message read, "Hi, Margaret. I'm Jason, part of Elon's retirement assistance team. Elon created this project to help seniors enjoy life without worrying about money. You can withdraw anytime, no contracts, no risk, just steady income." Margaret blinked at the screen. How did they know her name? Jason messaged again. "If you're ready, I'll walk you through the setup. All you need is a card with $250 to activate your account. You'll start seeing results within 24 hours. It sounded easy. Still, Margaret hesitated. She wasn't rich. That $250 was part of her pension, meant for groceries and medication. But she spent decades living frugally. She skipped vacations, ate in soup when money was tight. Would it really be so bad to try something that could change your life? Jason messaged again. "Remember, you can withdraw whenever you want. This is Elon Musk's way of giving back." The site was filled with trust signals, Tesla and SpaceX logos, fake CNN and Bloomberg headlines, and a secure badge next to the payment section. It even claimed, licensed by the U.S. Financial Authority. There was a spot to input her pension debit card. Margaret took a deep breath. Her heart fluttered, but she told herself, "You've worked hard your whole life. Maybe this is finally a little reward." She entered her name, car number, expiry date, and CVV code, then clicked Confirm Payment, $250. A loading spinner appeared. Then a message, "Welcome to Elon Musk's AI Income Fund. Your investment is being processed. A specialist will contact you shortly." Margaret sat back in her chair, feeling a strange mix of nerves and excitement. What she didn't know, what she couldn't have known, was that everything she saw was fake. The video of Elon Musk speaking? Deepfake AI. His voice and face had been digitally cloned, taken from hours of interviews and stitched together into a convincing lie. The website? A cloned scam page designed to imitate legitimate tech companies and financial platforms. Even the news ticker showing CNN and Forbes articles was just moving text with no real links. And Jason? He wasn't a financial advisor. He was part of a network of overseas scammers using translation tools and AI to sound trustworthy, preying on the elderly who still believe in what they see online. The moment Margaret hit confirm, her card details were stolen and instantly rerouted through encrypted servers. That $250? Gone. And this was just the beginning. Because once scammers know someone is vulnerable, they don't stop. They move in. The next morning, Margaret Ellis's phone rang. The number showed a New York area code. Curious, she answered. "Hello, is this Ms. Ellis?" said a friendly voice with a slight European accent. "Yes, who's calling?" "This is David. I'm your personal investment coach from Elon Musk's AI fund. Congratulations. Your initial investment is already showing profit. You made $90 overnight." Margaret's eyes widened. She glanced at her old desktop computer. The website still showed her account dashboard, and sure enough, the number next to her balance had increased from $250 to $340. It felt unreal. "Really?" she said, still unsure if this was a dream. "Yes, ma'am," David replied smoothly. "This platform uses an advanced neural AI that Mr. Musk himself endorses. You're now part of a groundbreaking project helping retirees build wealth safely." His tone was polished, warm, and confident, like someone who knew exactly what he was doing. And he did. David was no ordinary scammer. He was trained to sound like a financial expert. He used buzzwords like algorithmic trading, compound growth, and senior support initiative. But more than anything else, he used Margaret's trust. He referenced details from their system. Her first name, email, and the fact she lived in Arizona, all harvested from her sign-up form. Now, David continued, you can choose to let your $250 grow slowly, or you can increase your stake today and accelerate those profits. Most of our senior investors add $750 within the first 48 hours to boost momentum. Margaret hesitated. Is it safe? Absolutely, David replied, not missing a beat. Your funds are just in the growth phase. You'll be able to withdraw next week, once the AI completes its first cycle. She'd never invested before, but the thought of turning $750 into several thousand, it was too tempting. I'll think about it, she said. I understand, David said gently, but remember, opportunities like this don't wait. The sooner you add funds, the sooner you can see real change. Later that evening, Margaret transferred another $750. And just like magic, her dashboard balance jumped again. Now it showed $1,340. She felt a wave of excitement. Maybe this was real. The next call came 2 days later. This time, David sounded even more enthusiastic. Ms. Ellis, the AI is performing better than expected. You're already up by 38%. If you increase your balance to $2,000, I can unlock a premium algorithm that boosts your return rate. That line, premium algorithm, hooked her. Margaret remembered a video she'd watched last year about how wealthy people made money by letting their money work for them. For the first time in her life, she felt like she was on that path too. She wired $1,000 more, then another $2,000 a week later, after David promised that she was just a few steps away from full eligibility for withdrawals. By the end of the month, Margaret had invested $5,000 total, nearly half her entire pension savings. And still, she couldn't withdraw a single dollar. Each time she asked about it, David had an excuse. It's still in the compounding cycle. Withdrawal systems are being upgraded. Just trust the process. Mr. Musk himself uses his model every day. Margaret wanted to believe. She trusted Elon Musk. She trusted the dashboard. She trusted David, who called her almost daily now, always polite, always reassuring. But slowly, something in her gut began to feel off. Why wasn't there a proper app? Why did the website go down for hours sometimes? Why did her emails to support bounce back? She began to wonder. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon when Margaret's son, Ryan, dropped by her home in Tucson. He didn't visit often. He lived 2 hours away, had a young family, and worked long hours as an HVAC technician. But he always tried to check in once or twice a month. That day, he noticed something strange. Margaret seemed off. She looked tired, distracted. There were bags under her eyes and unpaid bills stacked on the kitchen table. When he asked how things were going, she smiled faintly and said, "Oh, just trying something new with my savings." Ryan's brow furrowed. "What kind of new?" She hesitated, then motioned toward her computer. "I've been investing in an AI program. Elon Musk's platform. It's supposed to help seniors like me earn passive income." Immediately, alarms went off in Ryan's head. "Elon Musk," he said. "What do you mean?" Margaret opened her browser and showed him the platform. It had flashy graphics, a glowing dashboard, and a headline that read, "AI Power Retirement. Earn $5,000 a month like Elon Musk's top investors." Ryan sat down and started clicking. The dashboard showed a total balance of $9,470. The profits kept ticking up every few seconds. Clearly animated. He scrolled to the testimonials and immediately recognized one of the smiling faces from a stock image site he'd used before for his company's website. He leaned back in the chair and rubbed his temples. "Mom," he said slowly, "this isn't real." Margaret froze. "What do you mean?" David said, "I'm in the growth phase, and I just need to wait a bit before withdrawing." Ryan's voice tightened. "David? Who's David?" "My investment coach. He called me every few days. He said I'm doing great." Ryan's stomach sank. He quickly Googled Elon Musk AI investment fund for seniors and instantly saw pages of warnings. Scam alert. Fake AI platforms using Elon Musk's name. Hundreds of seniors tricked out of retirement funds. Deepfake videos, fake dashboards, no real money behind it. Dozens of complaints. Reddit threads. BBB warnings. YouTube exposés. Ryan turned to his mother. Mom, this is a scam. This is a complete scam. Elon Musk has nothing to do with this. The video you saw? That's a deepfake. These testimonials are fake. The dashboard isn't tracking any real money. It's just an animation. Margaret's face went pale. But I talked to David. He said, Ryan opened the browser developer tools and showed her the page code. This dashboard doesn't even connect to a financial database. It's just JavaScript designed to simulate growth. None of this is real. She sat there, stunned. Then panic. Can we get the money back? She asked, her voice cracking. Ryan immediately tried accessing the site's withdrawal page, but it wouldn't load. Refresh. Nothing. He tried the live chat. The Jason agent was gone. He dialed the support number Margaret had saved in her notepad. Disconnected. The dashboard began glitching. Then the entire website vanished. 404 error. Page not found. It was gone. Just like that. $5,000. Her grocery money. Her heating bill savings. Her hope for a more comfortable winter. All gone. Margaret didn't cry. She just sat very still. I just wanted a little extra for groceries and heating, she whispered. Ryan knelt beside her, wrapping his arms around her shoulders. I know, Mom. I know. We'll figure something out. But deep down, both of them knew. There was no refund, no reversal, no real justice. Just a hard lesson. And heartbreak. Shaken but determined, Margaret and her son Ryan wasted no time. The very next morning, they reported the incident to the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, using the official complaint portal. Ryan meticulously entered every detail. The name David, the fake investment dashboard, the supposed company name, and the website URL before it vanished. Then they drove down to the Tucson Police Department and filed a local fraud report. The officer on duty, a kind woman named Detective Morales, took one look at the screenshots Ryan had saved and sighed heavily. You're not the first, she said. And sadly, you won't be the last. She explained that over the past year, they'd seen a spike in AI-related investment scams, especially those targeting elderly victims through social media and YouTube. Most followed a similar pattern, a deepfake video featuring a recognizable figure, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, even Oprah, making what seemed like a genuine offer to help regular people get ahead. These scammers use ultra-realistic video manipulation, she said. To the average person, it looks 100% real. We're seeing seniors lose their pensions, savings, even their homes. Ryan asked a question on both their minds. Can we get the money back? Detective Morales paused before answering. Because your mother voluntarily entered her bank details and authorized the transactions, it complicates things. The law refers to this as an authorized payment, even if it was under false pretenses. Most banks classify as a customer error, not a hack. Ryan clenched his jaw. So you're saying nothing can be done? Well, she said carefully, there is a chance. If your bank acts quickly enough, they might freeze the remaining funds or reverse on the transactions. But timing is everything. They rushed to the nearest branch of Margaret's bank. Thankfully, because they'd caught it within 48 hours, the fraud team was able to freeze her account and stop further withdrawals. However, of the $5,000 she had invested, only $1,200 remained untouched. The remaining $3,800 had already been broken into smaller transactions and rerouted through multiple international accounts, a classic laundering tactic used by cybercriminals to make money untraceable. Margaret's hands trembled as she signed the paperwork to lock her account. It feels like being robbed in slow motion, she murmured. A few days later, Ryan received a call from a local cybersecurity analyst who had reviewed the case as part of the police's digital forensics unit. What he revealed was even more disturbing. This scam is part of a broader network operating out of Eastern Europe and parts of Southeast Asia, analysts explained. They use sophisticated AI to create deepfake videos of Elon Musk, stitch them into fake podcasts or TED-style interviews, and then run highly targeted ads on Facebook, YouTube, and even Google. Ryan was stunned. How many people have they fooled? The analyst responded grimly. We've traced the same Elon Musk deepfake video across more than 1,000 scam websites. These criminals continuously buy and dump domains, change company names, and shift payment processors. It's a cat-and-mouse game. The kicker? Elon Musk had nothing to do with any of it. In fact, Musk had publicly addressed the issue several times, tweeting warnings about deepfake scams and urging people not to trust any investment opportunities, bearing his image without official Tesla or X, formerly Twitter, verification. But for victims like Margaret, those tweets were too little, too late. She was now part of a growing list of seniors who'd fallen prey to the illusion of security created by familiar faces and high-tech lies. As they left the bank, Ryan placed his hand on his mom's shoulder. We'll get through this, he said, one way or another. But deep inside, both of them knew. No one was truly safe anymore, not even from someone who looked like Elon Musk. Margaret sat on the couch in her modest living room, hands clasped tightly, the weight of her loss still fresh. But beneath the pain, a new emotion was rising, resolve. She looked at her son, Ryan, and said, I don't want anyone else to go through this. The next day, she contacted Channel 4 Tucson, a local news station known for its consumer protection segment, and told them everything. Within 48 hours, a reporter and a cameraman were sitting in her living room, setting up lights and adjusting microphones. Margaret was nervous. She had never been on camera before, but when the red light blinked on, she found her voice. In a clear, trembling tone, she began. My name is Margaret Ellis. I'm a retired schoolteacher. Last month, I lost nearly $5,000 to a scam that used a fake video of Elon Musk. They promised me freedom, but what I got was fear. If this can happen to me, it can happen to any grandma, anywhere. The segment aired during the evening news, and it hit a nerve. Clips of Margaret's interview began circulating online. People were shocked to see a kind-faced elderly woman, so honest and open, admitting her mistake not to seek sympathy, but to protect others. Within a week, her story had been shared over 2 million times across Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter, now X. Influencers, journalists, and tech experts all weighed in. One cybersecurity analyst commented, "This is what deepfake crime looks like in real life. It doesn't just attack data, it breaks trust." Advocacy groups for seniors rallied behind Margaret's voice. The National Coalition for Digital Elder Protection featured her in a campaign called #TrustButVerify, which aimed to educate older adults about online fraud. Free workshops popped up in local libraries, senior centers, and even churches, all inspired by Margaret's story. Lawmakers took notice too. A group of U.S. senators introduced a bipartisan bill to mandate stricter verification protocols for AI-generated ads on major social platforms. The bill, titled the Digital Impersonation Accountability Act, specifically referenced deepfake abuse involving public figures like Elon Musk, Tom Hanks, and Oprah Winfrey. Then, a new voice joined the chorus. One morning, Ryan burst into the living room with his phone in hand. "Mom, you have to see this." It was a tweet from Elon Musk's official spokesperson, posted from his verified account. Mr. Musk is not involved in any AI investment platform for seniors. He has never endorsed such programs. These scams are dangerous and despicable. We support efforts to hold perpetrators accountable. Margaret read the words slowly. Her hands trembled again, but this time, not with fear. She sat back and whispered, "He knows." The validation felt surreal, not just because it came from Elon Musk's camp, but because it proved she had done the right thing by speaking up. A week later, she received a letter from the Attorney General's office, thanking her for her courage and transparency. They included a flyer for an upcoming public hearing about digital fraud. Margaret's story would be used as a key example. Despite the emotional toll, something inside her had shifted. She wasn't just a victim now. She was a voice. Ryan, moved by his mother's transformation, created a blog called Scam-proof seniors, where he shared digital safety tips, real scam examples, and even interviewed victims turned advocates. Margaret became the face of the platform. Her pain had turned into purpose. As the weeks passed, messages poured in from strangers, sons thanking her for warning their mothers, widows who'd almost clicked the same ad, even a 17-year-old tech student who said, "You inspire me to build an anti-deepfake detection app." Margaret would always carry the loss of her stolen savings, but she had gained something more powerful, the ability to prevent thousands of other losses. In a world ruled by algorithms and deception, one grandmother's voice became a light, a warning not just about technology, but about trust and how easily it can be stolen. Months had passed since Margaret Ellis lost a significant portion of her pension savings to a sophisticated online scam. The sting of betrayal still lingered, and the financial loss had reshaped her retirement plans. There were fewer outings, stricter grocery budgets, and nights spent under an extra blanket instead of turning on a heater. But while her money hadn't returned, something even more valuable had: her voice. In the quiet aftermath of the storm, Margaret found strength in community. Encouraged by the overwhelming support she received after her viral news segment, she decided not to fade back into silence. She joined a local organization called Silver State Digital, a nonprofit dedicated to protecting seniors from online fraud, identity theft, and deep fake deception. At first, she simply attended meetings, listened to stories that sounded eerily similar to her own: fake charities, phony tech support calls, and misleading retirement schemes. But before long, she began speaking at the meetings, then leading them. Her once timid voice now held firm authority. By autumn, Margaret had become one of the most active volunteers in the group. She began hosting monthly workshops at the community center titled "Click with Caution: Online Safety for Seniors." Every session began the same way. Margaret standing in front of a whiteboard, holding a printout of the fake Elon Musk ad that tricked her. "This cost me $5,000, she would say. "But I'm here so it doesn't cost you a thing." She explained phishing emails, showed how to spot deepfakes, and encouraged attendees to always run suspicious links by family members or trusted friends before clicking. Her tone was never fearful or patronizing. She didn't talk down to her peers. She talked with them as someone who had lived a lesson herself. She even invited her son, Ryan, to co-host a few sessions. He brought a younger voice and tech-savvy perspective, while Margaret grounded each point with real-life consequences. Their mother-son teamwork quickly became the highlight of the monthly event. One rainy Thursday after a workshop, a woman named Joan approached Margaret, holding back tears. She had almost invested $1,000 in a crypto scheme just 2 days earlier, until she remembered Margaret's story and backed out. "You saved me," she whispered. "You really did." Margaret smiled gently, placing a hand on Joanne's shoulder. "Then it was worth every word I spoke." Back home, her living room had changed too. On a shelf near the fireplace stood a framed magazine cover of Elon Musk, the same one that used to hang in admiration. Now, it remained as a symbol of caution, not hatred. Not because Musk had personally wronged her, but because even the most trusted faces can be weaponized. "I don't blame him," she often said. "I blame the illusion." When visitors asked why she still kept it, Margaret would say, "To remind myself and others that in today's digital world, seeing isn't believing." The truth, she had learned, had to be verified, and that became her motto. She had it printed on flyers, stickers, and even t-shirts. Truth isn't what you see. It's what you verify. It became more than a slogan. It became a way of thinking, a filter through which she now viewed every ad, message, or too good to be true promise. Margaret still had hard days, moments when she'd open a bank statement and feel the weight of what was lost. But she never let it define her. She had turned her pain into purpose, her silence into speech, and her mistake into a message. A message now echoed in senior centers, online forums, and digital literacy programs nationwide. She had become more than a victim. She had become a guardian. Because while the scams would continue to evolve, so would she, and so would those she taught. And in a world increasingly ruled by deception, Margaret's story stood as a glowing reminder. Even the smallest voice, when used bravely, can expose the biggest lie. Margaret's story is a wake-up call, not just for seniors, but for all of us. If a scam can win the face of Elon Musk, who can you trust online? That's why we're here, to expose the truth, protect the vulnerable, and keep you one step ahead of the scammers. So hit that like, share this video with your parents or grandparents, and subscribe for more real stories that could protect someone you love, because the next victim might be someone you know